pours out your heart, all that we see. There's nothing you don't own, everything is yours. Your glory I behold, always I am yours. Every beat of my heart, may it be for you alone. And is it really true?
For different reasons you're here, whether you've been encouraged to come, whether you've been before and you're coming back, but ultimately we believe, and I think Keith was alluding to it, that God's called you all to do this. You know, he hasn't called your church pastors, he hasn't called your bosses at work, he hasn't called big name people or little name or other people. He's specifically chosen you 12 for this time, for whatever it's 30th of July for 2 weeks, to go out there to do a specific job, okay?
Anything you can't manage to get in?
Oh no, I'm it's literally just me in the car. So.
No, I meant when you start putting the suitcase together, you think, oh, then just give us a shout and we can sort it. Because we'll come to your house,
yeah,
we can have a little look at what we've got. I mean, even the case where...
My name is Mandy, and the reason I am coming on this trip is because I felt a calling from God to step out from my circumstances at home, which can be fairly challenging, and to just experience a world that I have never seen before.
Keith came to me saying that he's going again this year and was wondering if I'd like to go. And thought it'd be an amazing opportunity to go learn all the different experiences, just not knowing what I'm going to take from it all.
One of the most exciting things I'm looking forward to is to work in a foreign country, somewhere where I haven't been before, experience a new culture, to learn off them, and to work with the community rather than just as a tourist turning up there.
The reason I've come on this trip is because it's something I've always wanted to do, and now my children are grown up and flown the nest, then I've decided that this is my opportunity to do this. Get away.
In year 11 I had a chance to go on World Challenge, and they were going to Kenya, and right at the last minute I backed out because at the time it wasn't for me and I wasn't ready to go, and I think this sort of, I don't know, going back to Africa sort of puts a bit of closure on it that yeah, I can do this and I will.
I decided to come on the trip because I like giving to people. The thing I'm most excited about is going back to Zambia and just meeting the same people who I've met before and get engrossed in that fellowship of godliness. They're just so holy, they're just so beautiful, the way they love God and the way they come across.
I'm most excited about having the chance to go out and spend some time with my brothers and sisters in Christ and share times of fellowship together while serving them overseas.
What's your best experience in the trips you've been on? What's the most amazing thing that happened to you or happened to somebody else or sticks in your mind?
I think for me, probably the first trip I went to Goma in Congo. Being in a room with 300 women who have been brutally raped, so much so that they all need surgery, and children who've been maimed and shot and have got club foot and are really damaged, and then you go into a 7 o'clock in the morning and they're all standing in this church and then they start singing and they start worshipping. I've literally got goosebumps now singing it, and it's just the power of that. You think, well, they've been destroyed. These women have been tied to trees for 3 weeks and raped by the army, and they've been picked up off the street and brought here. And now with all that, they sing like this, and they dance, and the guys with the crutches pick up the crutches and dance to them on their heads because they're just so full of the Lord. And you just think, wow, so many bad things happen to them, and yet they worship, and yet we break a fingernail and we go, oh, that's it, I don't believe in God because I broke my fingernail. And yet for them, so many bad things, and yet it means so much. So for me, the whole Congo trip for me was quite something, and I'll tell you more about it if you want to know more personally. But that's probably the most powerful thing for me.
should take my boots out. What?
Yeah, those will be
Are we
there.
taking it to
Well, actually,
anyway?
we're not doing too bad, are we? Because you only got one suitcase.
Might be a little bit over now because I popped some. I put my electric.
You all right?
Hello. Where are you all going?
Zambia.
Where?
Zambia.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant. How long for?
2 weeks. Once we managed to get our baggage down a bit.
I bet it's the women's got too much.
No, it's me. It's me.
Me.
Someone's bras, I got me back. Yeah.
How many of you going then?
Sorry?
How many going?
Well, we'll be 12 of us all together. So,
What, is it a holiday or what?
our mission work. So, we're going to work with orphans, football project, women's empowerment project, age drop-in centres. So, yeah,
Oh, brilliant.
pretty full on for 2 weeks.
Sorry? No.
What are you doing then?
I thought it's at 9.
I'll be climbing over you.
Nako kumisa yo daddy, nako sanzola yo daddy, daddy, mulibalu se daddy.
The biggest difference between British culture and Zambian culture, I think, would probably be the poverty. They have a much bigger faith because they have to rely on God for so much more, whereas we actually in reality need to rely on God for so little. So I think they have a much bigger faith and a much deeper faith because of their circumstances.
What's this? If someone upset you or hurt you,
think the biggest sort of difference in culture, I think that I'm going to notice is sort of the materialistic side of things. Because down by me, everyone has the phone glued to their hands. Like, people won't talk to each other, and that kind of side. And but they're not going to have Facebook on all the time. They're not going to be on the phones. They're going to be interacting with each other. I'm most excited about going on this trip, sort of, to be able to give others the privilegedness that I've had, sort of growing up with all the crafts. You don't, sort of at home, you don't think anything of it as such. It's bits you do at school. And to think sort of others don't have that opportunity as much. So to be able to do that, and I know I'm going to take away just as much from what I'm going to give and grow as a person.
You got the star.
Hey, hello.
Right, we'll try and make yourself comfortable, drink some water.
Yeah, I have lots of water. I've got a whole one of them.
So you've got a whole water.
And you're staying, aren't you? That's fine. Yeah,
People might come and talk to you.
Okay.
You might find a mechanic.
I might go put myself in sun.
Do you want a smaller bottle than that? Or you...
No, I'll probably need this.
I have had a litre of water, but yeah. Emergency
Okay, so what time is it now?
It is
3 o'clock. Just
Right, so
turn.
we've got 3 hours to get this sorted.
Can we sit in the van? For that?
Yeah, you can sit in the van. I'll leave the car and bank keys with you.
You never know.
Yeah, that's what they were.
We lay hands on it or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The bus broke down and we're in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, we didn't have any working phones, and it seemed like there was nothing we could do. So the group decided to pray. Yeah, we prayed that the situation would be resolved somewhere or other, or we'd be kept safe. And by the time we said amen, a truck came round, a road that hardly any cars go on.
They're just like taking out their battery.
Oh Lord my God, how great are you? You are mighty, hallelujah. Oh Lord my God, how great are you?
So the vehicle's broken down. We've had a little pray, and these guys have come around the corner, and now they're trying to fit the battery into the car, see if we can get it going. Saying that, it's plan B. I don't know what that is. Drive. Oh!
You are mighty, you are worthy. Lion of Judah, you are worthy. Hallelujah, I will sing.
If there's anything you don't understand or we're talking fast, just put your hand up and we'll translate if that's alright, interpret. Yeah, sure. My name's Matt.
I'm Bernie.
Yeah, so this is like a seminar on refereeing. We want to see what you know, and then we're not teaching you the same thing again.
The football was fantastic, really good. Couldn't have hoped or wished for a better outcome. Went there a bit sort of thinking to myself, you know, you're going to walk into a club where there's teenagers who have never seen you before. Maybe their expectations were going to be a little bit too high. I didn't know what the skill level was, how many were going to be there, so I had no idea of numbers or anything. We suddenly faced ourselves with, just the day after we got there and settled in really, We met the coaches, who were great, fantastic to talk to. They were open to us, they were wanting to learn. There was none of this, well, we don't do it that way here. They were happy you'd taken your time out to come from England to give them some advice, just to be there to ask questions, give them some session plans and what have you. When we met the kids, they were exactly the same. And then when we give them the kit that we're taking out, 3 sets of kit, it was like they'd won the lottery. I mean, the smiles on their faces. And when you're working with teenagers and you compare to teenagers here, you're normally looking at someone who's sort of not always open to ideas and always know better or think they do. They were open to whatever ideas you had. They were happy to take part and do any training session you wanted them to do. Real high point, and couldn't have asked any more. Definitely not.
Laura, tell me about the ant situation.
There's so many ants!
What happened last night?
Ah! We just came in and Becky got bitten. I found one on my bed.
And then I found all of the ones.
And then they were all on the floor, like around the walls. And then I just started walking up and down outside because I didn't want to get eaten.
Ew.
And they're so gross.
Very gross.
And then I went to the ant refugee tent and stayed in there instead, whilst these guys stayed.
So what you mean is you wussed out?
Yeah, I don't like bugs.
I think my high point has got to be when the choir sang that Swabia. It was absolutely fantastic, amazing. It was like a wall of sound. It was brilliant. I'd heard a lot about it, but obviously never experienced anything like that. But whether it was the building, where they were, what they were, I don't know. But it just, the whole lot just went, it all come together, and it was absolutely immense, fantastic.
My favourite was Twapia. I was able to sing even if I didn't actually know what I was singing. But it was quite nice just to get in the beat, because it would have been nice if there wasn't such a resistance to singing in the group, because actually that's my nicest way of winding down and relaxing. I think that's the best moment. I felt that at that point I was at peace.
We would like to greet you and say hello. Hello. You have brought us joy. Your singing has set our hearts on fire, because you have sung and the Lord has sung through you. Thank you.
So, first question, Todd. Somebody in the team today who you thought, oh, that's amazing what they're doing, or that's great, or someone who sort of you thought, someone who caught your eye today out of the team and just thought, oh, that's really good.
Who was it got up and started dancing? I can't remember that.
No,
And Brenda.
Brenda. Oh, Brenda.
Brenda after you, yeah. I thought that, no, obviously wasn't it. No, you get up anyway. No, I thought that was brilliant, yeah. I thought it was brilliant.
I think it was Mandy. Not just today, but kind of the past few days. Just because I don't want to make you cry.
You will.
I think it's just because how you deal with people, that being so calm and patient and humble. I was like, some of the situations, just generally, I was a bit like, I think I might have flown off the handle. Like, so it was just, I was just a bit like, wow. It's just really nice to kind of spend time with people that are so genuine and so humble. I won't make you cry anymore. What's the
That was really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. Did you cry a little bit?
No.
We got the lollipop driving. Where are you sitting? I've got a spare one back at base. I just had to get through today. Yeah. So I thought it was so everything's okay.
How did you feel when you went on the streets of Nkwasi? What was your thoughts? What was your feelings of experience?
Like, we've seen the poverty all the time that we've been here, but the places we've been are places that these people go to. Whereas that street is the place they are from. It's the place, that's their home. And just seeing them all crammed in. Like, the streets were just chock-a-block, and everyone knows each other. You do one thing, then they all crowd around you, and they all want to shake your hand. And it was really touching, so just to see how bad the conditions are living. Yeah. The fact that they can smile.
I find it honestly quite intimidating, and I felt very vulnerable whilst being there. But at the same time, it's quite amazing to see, like Bryan said, their homes. This is actually where the people live. It's not just where they go to school. And I thought that what they're doing with the shops and stuff, the mini loans, was just really amazing. And it just helps them to stay stable and provide for themselves.
May I understand? You want it? But yeah, I want it wrap around. But we call it A-line because it's like that. Okay. But just a band around the top.
What are you doing, Emma?
Zelia is designing me a skirt for church next year. Out of Zambia.
Emma, high waist. Yes. So we are going to make a high waist for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sandwich.
Yeah.
Not too tight.
Not too tight. No.
It's not the design of fabric that you want too tight.
Walking through the village, I never felt so bad. Even though we weren't doing anything wrong, it just felt like, I know we weren't, but it just felt like a lot of rich white people walking through a village. Not looking down on people, looking at how bad their living conditions are. And I didn't want them to think that about us, like, oh, coming in here looking at, you know, making judgments. And it wasn't what we're doing, but it just felt really awkward. I'd have rather have been a fly, just flying around and seeing how they do things, because it is their world. And you see on TV and on programmes and things where they're all sat there, you know, looking for handouts and all this. No, that's their world, and they are making the most of what they've got, and it's just, that's how they live. And they seem absolutely fine with that, and everyone works hard, and there's a massive, like we said last night, like a community atmosphere of it, and it's just, that was quite humbling in itself to see. Yeah, they just crack on. They're not sat there wanting everyone's help, they just do it.
after this. It's quite something, isn't it? Every kid here, for the first time in their lives, having a ball at their feet. And then we brought these ladders out as well, so they've never done agility before, because they've always had to do it with sticks, and now we've brought out proper equipment. Nice new, fancy new discs. Brilliant. 2 new kits.
Normally, throughout these 30 kids, you probably have about 2 footballs. So now to see them playing with a multitude of footballs, the training kit we brought as well, the pop-up goals, the ladders, everything is new to them, but it's something that will help them develop. It'll help them hopefully make good use of what they've got, what we brought. You love football?
Yeah, so much. We love football so much. Yeah.
The only thing I'm particularly scared of is the dramas and the singing, because I'm not very good at like public speaking and that, but having to sort of have a lot of people looking at me, I'm really not looking forward to it.
Until one morning, on leaving the village, Mary saw Mark waiting for her. Today he was drunk more than he had been before, and even before she reached him, he was shouting,
Are you not dead yet, old woman? Ruining my day.
dragging your old body across my view.
Dragging the old body across my view.
Can I just say, you sound like Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's not bad.
I get the box now. I get the eye mask on.
When Mary reached Mark, he took a deep breath and spat in her face.
Oh
As the spit ran down her face, he hit her and she fell to the ground. It took all the strength that Mary had to say.
Let's set him apart then. What's that doing it for?
That was confusion.
I was a proper day like.
Matt obviously can't do anger and confusion.
He's only got one face.
And that's when you get a dirty look.
Angry. Happy. Aggressive. Not aggressive.
You would like to do a little blessing from God. I hope this helps you in your sisters.
When I felt at a low point was when Emma gave that money. And though it was like a beautiful thing to do, it was more, yeah, I miss home. It just, yeah, it brings back what my mum's done for me, because like how happy that one was to receive that money, to make, even if it's just a couple of weeks, make it a little bit easier for her. Yeah, I think it just reflects a mum in general, of that they can look after their kid for a little bit longer. Yeah, and I know little things like that, or whenever, I don't know, we got some money or something, it meant a lot to my mum, because it meant that she could feed me and my brother and look after me and my brother. So yeah, it really hit home that, yeah, my mum was everything and I miss her.
It's cute there, isn't it? Brenda and Bryan. Let's see. St Anthony's Orphanage. Good in the sense that we were able to be with the kids, to spend time with the kids, give them a cuddle, play with them. Low point because we then left. We had limited time, and you can't blame the staff. The staff were doing the best they could under the circumstance, probably restricted numbers of staff, restricted hours, and they were doing a marvellous job, but it just, you can always say that it just isn't enough. We brought a little bit of extra to them. Unfortunately, it was only for a limited time, and then it was, right, see ya, we're off.
I hope that I'll be able to sort of make a difference and feel like I've given as much as I can.
I think if I can leave, knowing that I've put a smile on someone's face, or that I've maybe helped them in the slightest, then that'd be pretty amazing.
My biggest hopes for this trip are to help the communities out there, to make myself hopefully a better person, and to bring something, not only for me to bring something back with me, but also to leave some legacy of some kind over there.
I will come away with a better understanding of the African culture and their faith, which I think is quite an incredible faith, because they have so much less than us. And in essence, they're a happier people.
Help me to return to know more of your ways, everything you are. Oh Lord, help me to depend on all your promises. Every word you speak breathes life to me. For I have wandered far from your ever-giving heart. Please have me back again. I know that I've done wrong.
In the UK, we expect things and we want life to be very comfortable, and if anything falls below the mark, then we protest, whereas I do believe that in the African culture they would be more likely to shrug their shoulders and say, okay, we'll make the best of it.
Over here and in Europe, it's a lot of material goods, a lot of, people have a bulk of stuff and different choices.
The big difference between here and in Africa is the Christ-centeredness of life, about everything revolves around Christ. The African people are greatly blessed without the distractions of the modern world. Whereas in England we try to fill our lives with so many different things that we lose track of God.
It would be nice just to engage back into basic living without the trimmings and realise that actually we are very fortunate.
Lift up Emmanuel, 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 God with us. Emmanuel, 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 God with us. Oh, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, oh, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God with us. Oh, Emmanuel, 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 God with us. When I fall, you lift me up. When I'm dry, you fill my cup. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God with us.
When I fall, you pick me up. When I'm dry, you fill my cup. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God with us.
Oh, Emmanuel,